All right, here we are, Maximum Edge Sports Wagering Show. The blood is pumping. Conference tournaments in full swing, getting ready here now. Well, I got two guys to help us break it all down. Friday, March 4th, the real Sean Higgs and Anthony, my side man from Pounded Sports. Follow both these guys on Twitter. Sign up for their VIPs. I got to tell you guys, March Madness. It's called March Madness for a reason. It'll make you mad. It's full of nail biters, man. And we're gonna try and
full of 8-point dogs going to overtime, losing by double digits.
I know. Okay, so let's just get into that because that's what we were talking about before the show. The three of us. What do you do? So today, I'm going to ask these guys a question here because this is something I was thinking about today. Today, North Carolina A&T and Longwood played in their conference tournament, and North Carolina A&T was an 8-point dog. So normally in these conference tournaments, neutral site, Sean, Anthony, and myself lean towards the dog, and everything was rolling right. And North Carolina A&T, they're just a bad matchup for Longwood. And they get down to the end. It ends up a tie game. We get to overtime, and Longwood comes away with like a 13-point victory. It covers the spread, making Vegas look well there. But I want to ask. I'll start with Sean first. I want to ask you, what do you do when you want to be on the side of the dog in these conference tournaments, neutral site, lay it down as a rule, kind of to defer to taking the points, have them in your back pocket, because a lot of these tournament games, they are close. These kids are playing their hearts out, and but the favorite is the better team. What do you do when you get to a situation like this? What do you take into consideration when you're picking the side to be on for this? And of course, you can't control what happens in overtime. Anything, but do you consider what do you consider when you make your decision? Like when a team plays the night before, is that part of it? Maybe the head-to-head matchups during the season, the last 5 games. How is this team playing now? What are some of the factors that go into it?
Yeah. So right off the bat, like how teams are coming in, like it's like any kind of thing. What kind of win streak, losing streak, teams playing good, playing out the string, and you taking dogs. We saw Charleston Southern the other day, 11-point dog, outright winner, beats a team. You had your NCT team, NCAT today, right there, right? 8 points. You're thinking, I'll take 8 today against the top seed, and then what happens? Overtime or dogs go to die. You got to look at. I mean, for me, as games get on, all right, back to back, maybe not as much. Maybe not. Maybe it's an overtime game. You see how it ends, like that. You come off a big win, an upset win, or last second, emotions are high. Maybe they're a little more pumped up, right? You're thinking we're ready to go. But I think more of like something like the Big East tournament, ACC, where you got a team playing in that early game and then playing like 3 games in a row, 4 games in a row. That's where I think you get more of a separation. Like in the, you get a separation, your top seeds, your bottom seeds. Like in the NCAA tournament, all right, first round, second round, Mellows are dogs, right? Everybody's like, 4's over 12s, and let's whoever wants to take underdogs early. But the cream separates, right? It always rises to the top. Any kind of thing. You got a 1 seed versus a team that has 2 wins in conference. Eventually, it's going to kind of separate. So I think you kind of see that. But there's no just straight formula of taking a dog. I mean, we see a lot of dogs. Listen, we're going to see some blowouts, right? I mean, Loyola Chicago today just hammered a team that was a pretty decent team on their level. It was like a 30. It wasn't even close, that final score. I think it was 20, could have been 40. So you can't, and I'm a dog guy. We know this. I can't just finally say we're taking every single dog. You can't do that. You're not going to win money doing that. I mean, you're not. Even money line them. It's not going to. Maybe you come out maybe a little ahead. You just can't buy dog.
So I'm right there with you. You want to say when I get to a point, my spreadsheet will spit out which teams I'm going to bet for the most part. And today, of course, I had Bradley +6. Wow, but I didn't bet it because I didn't like it. I didn't. You took Bradley +6. So here's the thing. Anthony and I talked about this too. Is like he was on Loyola minus the points. I didn't want to bet against Sister Jean. You get to that point in the tournament where Sister Jean is dancing and throwing prayers up to the heavens, and frickin' Loyola starts to come alive, right before the tournament. Anthony, what's your philosophy on dogs, tournaments, neutral sites, back pocket points, even prayers, whatever you got to?
Well, in the past 30 days, me picking dogs have not gone that well. Let's start off with that. But overall, for what I look at, so neutral sites, it's a whole nother element. If you just automatically say, oh man, that team's so much better, they're only laying 3 points, oh, I'm on it. Wrong. So me personally, I look at the location and where the two schools are at. So let's do the Bradley and Loyola Chicago game, for example. It's in Missouri. So Loyola Chicago, we know historically they have a great traveling. Bradley, not the greatest traveling. One thing I know about Bradley this season is at home, awesome team. They beat up on the shit teams, but as soon as they play a team that's a 500 or better, they struggle. And we saw that today. So Loyola Chicago, it was more of a home team to them. They're not that far from Missouri. Plus the traveling to them, that's nothing. That's like a 6-8 hour drive for them. So I'm all over Loyola Chicago. I automatically feel they got that home field edge. And I was right. If anyone watched that game and there was a turnover, there was a point.
Yeah, the fans travel.
There was crowd went nuts for Loyola Chicago. So the crowd is there. Yeah, those fans travel. So I'm obviously saying, hey, I'm okay at 6 points versus a team that struggles versus the teams that are top in the division. They are struggling on the road. They're not at home. So this is considered a road game technically. And Loyola Chicago, it's tournament time, baby. This team is for real. I mean, whatever you saw in the regular season, throw it out the window. This is Loyola Chicago in a tournament. Give me the 6 points. I mean, it just happened to be that easy. But let's go to yesterday, where the upsets in the making happened. AR Little Rock and South Alabama. I mean, if me and Tooch, we were leaning AR Little Rock, but it was like, oh my God, hold your nose kind of game. But that was the play. Sometimes it's line movement, it's feel. It's so hard. But all I can say is neutral courts, majority of the time, you got to take the dogs. The dogs will cover or come in just because the perception of the team and the number is going to play with your mind. And that's what the sport's going to do. I mean, would you see a Duke -5, say, versus, I don't know, North Carolina in a neutral site? You're automatically basically going to say Duke -5. Not so fast. North Carolina, that's more of an even edge. So, I mean, it's really tough. It's really, really tough. But I've leaned dogs more in neutral courts.
All right. You heard it there. Sean, reaction?
Yeah, I was going to say, we're talking about Loshi. Again, this team was the 4 seed in conference, the best odds to win the tournament at +150. Like Northern Iowa, who they
That's a great point. That's a great point.
Northern Iowa won the conference. They're +500. The 4 seed, not the 2 seed, not the 3 seed, not, hey, it's in our home arena. We're playing in Chicago or something. No. They are the 4 seed, and they're +130. +130, basically even money to win it over. Again, Iowa was +500, and Northern Iowa +500, they were 1 seed. So kind of look at those two in these things. And some of these smaller conferences, a team like Belmont, it's going to be like a home game for them. Some of these things are in, like I know Greensboro or Asheville, one of those North Carolina teams, they play on their home court, even though it's the tournament game. So always check where some of these smaller, mid-majors are played. So sometimes the dog. Listen, I love my dogs, and I mean Andy's got right. He should be the dog pounded because the dogs in tournament. It is what it is. It is what's that one shining moment, whatever. This is the time. Everybody's hungry. Your one last shot. Think about it this way. This is the last time 99.9% of these guys will ever lift a basketball professionally in their lives. So
yep.
You're always gonna get a good effort. Rarely do you see somebody come out and just play total stinkers.
Yeah, that's why I love college basketball. It's probably my favorite sport, not only just to watch, but to also wager on.
I agree.
It's so pure, the coaching, the kids. You got a lot of drama and story, and it's just a great time. After that, probably the NFL for me is as much drama and story, college football as well. Let's head out to one last question for Sean before we move on to some games. So tomorrow there's probably 140 games, 100 some games tomorrow, right?
Least, right?
How do you stay on top of 100 games? Because I'm looking at games and I'm so anal. I have to look at least a little bit of each game, to try and find that at maximum edge, for what I'm going to wager on. But there's so much I get overloaded.
And gave the perfect reaction, just rubbing his head. Because that's what you print out the rotation and go through this. You're like, you got to be kidding me. You gotta. A lot of times I say this even for NFL and college football games. I see double digits, something crazy. I'm not gonna be interested in right off the bat. I'm not looking at that right away. March. I go straight to the tournament games right off the bat, right? Because I know I have my numbers for the tournaments. I already have a feel of what the books think is going to happen. I.e., Loyola Chicago should be taking them to the bank every game here, right? So you kind of get a little help right off the bat.
Did you have Bradley though today?
I took Bradley. Well, I took a Bradley future thinking you beat Loshai here, and you're wide open to win this thing because I thought sure anybody could really win that. Well, Chicago's guys are favorite, but it's just a cluster there. A lot of good teams, or decent teams, but it's madness. So again, I'll do the tournaments first now, just based on I got the odds on who the books, all the sharp, smart people know, right? They think this is going to happen. So then I can go off my numbers, teams that I kind of like, who I've picked back in November to win their conferences. How are they doing? And I'll go from there. A little bias towards a Bradley pick or a Wright State or something in Horizon, stuff like that.
Right.
Moorhead. I got a couple things like that. So yeah, my numbers are a little biased towards those things, but I'll start in the tournaments and work my way out. I'll go from there and be then I'll go to the bigger stuff if things jump out at me, running through the numbers. Because I'm a human being. I'm not breaking down 147 games. Each game, I have my numbers where I think they're going to be, and then I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to go. I'm sure of these 10 games, right? So I'll be sure there. And then I can branch out and do other ones, right? I'm not going to put my money on something I'm not confident on. But, it's easy enough because you have, you guys have your notes on games, right? So going in tomorrow,
absolutely,
you have numbers on things you kind of like already. So you see a number, you're like, all right, I could move on from this one because my numbers are where they should be compared to theirs. Let's go. And then you take it from there. So that's what I do. Sometimes you just got to cross things out and be like, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in 42-point college football phase, and I'm 22-point dog or road faves in college when it's Kansas versus Bumbletown or whatever. I'll just move on. Give me something else. Give me some home team that nobody's thinking about here. Who's gritty little 8-point dog on the road or something. So.
All right. So Anthony, before you tell Sean that your buddy Teach will stay up all night long crunching numbers and working on his spreadsheet, how do you throw out or sift through the games on a Saturday?
So this is usually the routine on Saturday, and it involves Tooch. So I'm up at 4 a.m. every Saturday, and I just start. So I start from the top, my 12 o'clock games, because I'm on Eastern time, and I just favorite all the games that I'm interested in, whether it's a team. I'm just skimming through it. And by the end of the time, I got 40 games, okay? And then I'll start breaking down those games. Okay, then I'll just elimination. By that time, it's 8:45, and Tooch calls me. It's well, my spreadsheet says this. And I'm like, well, Tooch, stop. I'm still doing this, okay? He's like, well, I do like that. Oh, my spreadsheet says the same thing. My spreadsheet, I don't really give a shit. I'm sorry, Tooch, but I don't really give a shit about your spreadsheet. I've got all this work invested already in the past 4 or 5 hours. I'm not going off your spreadsheet. If you bet it every game, which you don't, okay? If you do it every game, yes. But we're not doing it that way. So I have my own system. No offense to Tooch, but I cannot listen to other people. Because if I listen to one play that Tooch gives me and it loses, I'll be mad at him the rest of the day. But if he gives me one winner, I'll be like, Tooch, good job. And that's it. So I know for our friendship not to listen to Tooch. No offense to Tooch. Because most of the time he's like, oh, well, I told you this. I told you that. I was like, So, but yeah, I just do elimination, and then at the end, you got about 10 to
You mentioned a
15
loser
games.
though. When he tells you a loser one, does he bring that up? Like, oh, I like that game too, or no? Just the game that won that you didn't play.
Just the game that won. But then he'll say, "Oh man, I lost this one." I'll be like, "I told you," but we do it to each other. Yep. So it goes both ways.
It's like I say,
But
man,
it's
if you
so
like one
hard.
game, and like what you're saying with him, it's like if you like one of his games and you're like, I kind of like that. Now, do I got to bet the other? Because now then you're torn. Like, do I got to go all in on what this person likes or what I like? Because this one angle of 3 games turns into 7 more games, and you're picking and choosing.
Yeah,
Again, we're talking off air. I said like the whole superstition and gambling gods to me. I'm like, I got to stick to it. I got to stay in my little frame here and do it my way.
and then sometimes
there are some times that he comes up with these random plays. I'm like, man, get out. Then he starts breaking it down. I'm like, okay, you got my attention, Tooch. What are you talking about? Hold on. Let me look at him. I'm like, he found a hidden gem here. He's got something here.
Yeah.
Whether win or lose, you convinced me. So, I mean, there's times where he gets me.
But sometimes you and I will talk about a player. I'll give you a player. You'll give me a player. It looks so freaking easy, and then we get scared. We're like, "What the heck? It's too easy. Why we can't bet it?" But like the game I'll go back to is Northern
There was
Colorado.
a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago, NC Central -2 or +2. Remember that game? +2.
Yeah.
We're like, oh man, it just looks so good. How are they a dog? We didn't. We just left it alone. Next thing you know, NC Central wins by 5. So when we find our hidden gems, we usually they're there.
I find the too easy ones. I'm just gonna stay away from. If it looks too easy, I'm either staying away or I'm just going the other way because I look like a genius the next day on the show on the podcast. Be like, hey, look at that! No one's gonna remember you lost when everybody had the Lakers and you took the Thunder. But the Thunder upset the Lakers. You're like, oh my God, you were right all along. You're like the smartest man in the world.
While we're on the Lakers, they're in the 9th position.
The best thing I did last night was the Lakers.
Yeah. Yes, they're terrible.
They're in the 9th position.
Easy money.
I don't. Who thinks they're going to make the playoffs this year?
I'm telling people if there's a no playoff, bet them. Even in is the playing game considered playoffs? I don't care. I don't think they're going to get the playing game. They're bad.
Yeah,
they're a bad team.
LeBron's going to say he's hurt, and that's the rest of the season.
In 2011, this team is awesome. We're going to win 80 games. We go 81-1. I mean, with this lineup, with Howard and LeBron and Paul, whatever. I mean, but not now. Carmelo on that team too, right?
Yeah.
But and then this guy, and then he says, "Oh, maybe we should play with no fans because they're mean to me." They say, "Are you kidding me? What? Really? You're done. Just pack it in, LeBron. Just hang it up." Like
he probably didn't like.
He would never make it in New York. He would never make it in New York.
I mean, and listen. Do I think Jordan's better than him? Absolutely. Kobe's probably better than him because I mean, he's awesome. I'm not saying the guy's awesome. I went to 9 finals in 10 years or whatever the hell he did. He's great. But like the nonsense around him is just it just totally brings down his for me like the likability of the guy, like that's how do you say that? Oh, no fans.
What the heck?
That's what your salary, bro.
That's what you're supposed to play for is the fans. Anyways,
stop.
All right,
let's get to the games because we can talk. We can talk forever.
I know we're talking all.
I'm sorry.
All 3 of us, 3 Italian guys. 3 Italian guys talking sports can talk all day. So, let's get to some games. That's what people want.
We're low and we're ready to go.
All right. Throw up our first game because I forgot what our first game is, but
Drake SIU.
Drake and SIU.
Drake and SIU. Okay, so I'm in Des Moines, Iowa. Drake is our team here in Des Moines, and these 2 teams have played very close lately. So I know Sean is probably on the Salukis. But I got to tell you, man, Drake is starting to come around into form. They look healthier than they've ever been. Sean, I kind of lean under here, but it's a very low number, so I would probably go over. But now that's been bet down, I think all the values sucked out of the total. What are you thinking here?
Yeah, I'm definitely leaning under and leaning Salukis based on. But you're there. Is that kid DJ? What is he in? DJ the guard? Is
For
he for
Drake.
Drake? I heard he was a little banged up. I mean, he's there.
I'm pretty sure he's playing.
I believe everybody's healthy.
He's going to be in because I know he was a little banged up before. You know, he missed a couple games. I don't know if he's back.
I wanted to go to the game. I was trying to talk my son into going to the game tonight, but
see, with him, he's like their best.
He's
like
not feeling well.
Best shooter. Like he's their best guy. Like I need him out there.
Yeah, everybody's in. Harvey for Salukis is out, but I believe he's just a bench player.
You know what? I might lean a little Drake here. Then I mean, I like the Salukis, but if I got this guy playing, he's like their little defensive catalyst. He's their best shooter. You know, so he could open things up. Again, he's in the lineup. I will switch my lean to Salukis over to Drake. I thought I wasn't sure. I read somewhere that he'd been out, and I know he's a pretty big cog. And shooting wise, listen, Salukis have some limited offense abilities. SIU they got some. So I'd still look at the under here, 126.5, because I can see this game being a typical old school 51-47 kind of game out of the Missouri. You know, some of these 2000 games I remember watching, they were just some horrendous 48-46s, 61-38s. Like you got some crazy scores out of this conference and tournament time. So I'm definitely taking the under either way. I'm
kind of torn because I went to graduate school in SIU and I live in Des Moines. I like the Drake team, so it's kind of hard for me. I mean, Drake plays good defense too, and now they're getting healthy. The Salukis, like Sean said, Anthony, are challenged offensively. They only put up 60 to 64 points a game. You know, Drake can throw up in mid 70s, but they'll also hold teams to around, 66 points a game, 65 points a game. Where do you lean in Drake's SIU, Missouri Valley?
I already got a 2-unit play on Drake -3, but the last time they played, Drake played was at home versus the Salukis, and they won 62-60. First half, they were up by 14 at halftime, and then the Salukis came back in the second half and almost beat them. I mean, it's going to be that grind. It's going to be a close game. SIU's got a very good defense, but another team that doesn't play the same when they're not at home. I'm going to take the Drake. I think the Drake is the third best team in the tournament. And like I said before the day started, I said it's going to be between Drake, Loyola Chicago, and Northern Iowa to win the tournament. SIU is probably the fourth best. I mean, I'll take the 3. I say it's going to be within 5, though. But I will say over the total is my lean. I don't think it's going to be a grind. Neutral court, give me the over.
All right, you heard it. I'm Missouri State, one of those good teams, too, that's in that conference. They're also playing tonight, 10.5-point favorites over Valparaiso. I like the Tigers in that one, man. Bears, Missouri State Bears.
I like that team.
Sean, you're leaning SIU?
No, I'm if we're full go, I'm going to go a little Drake, I think, here. I'm going to go a little Drake.
I like Drake. That's the team I kind of root for here right now, living in Des Moines. You got good players like Hemp Hill and Penn. They're finally healthy. I mean, Penn has missed a lot of time. Hemp Hill's been injured too. But Tank Hemp Hill, man, he's tough to stop. So we got to lean towards Drake today. And I'm also kind of, my spreadsheet says take the over, but I could see what Sean's saying with these two teams grinding it out, being right at that number. It's too. I'm staying away from playing the total. It's a sharp number.
The line is a very sharp number. It's not going to be a blowout. I don't see this game. I see it being within 5 points. It's going to be very, very sharp.
Yep.
Right. All right. So what's the next play, Anthony? The next game we're going to talk about. I got to watch a little bit of Morehead State last night, and I was so impressed. I sent Anthony some info about the star of Morehead State, one of the stars of Morehead State.
I woke up to several things. I woke up first day. I'm like, what the hell is he sending me now?
If you have not seen Morehead State play, check out number 4 tonight. kid's name is Janai Broom. He's like 6'10", 240 pounds. He's like baby Giannis, but he is a shot blocking monster. And the other team has got to alter their shots around this guy. He's a rebounder. You cannot stop him one-on-one in the lane when he goes down to score. He's like a man playing with little kids. So you'll see tonight, Belmont, I don't think has the size to match up with him. Morehead State has dominated Belmont, or at least won the four. I believe the last four matchups against Belmont. Belmont this season is kind of just beat up on the weaker teams in this conference. That's why I like Morehead State. You give me 4.5 points. They've got Janai Broom is a sophomore. They have senior leadership on this team at the guard position as well. Sean, have you seen number 4 play for Morehead?
Yeah, I'm a Morehead backer. I got him plus 900 to win this thing. I got him tonight and 4.5. Belmont, as you said, beat up the bad teams. They got run out of the building. Murray's beating them by 32 and 20 or 34 and 22. These guys got them by 11 in one game, and the other game was like a low scoring 48-47, which weird because I look back, they both played Austin, PA before that, so maybe something in the water against PA. I don't know what happened there, but I don't think they have the horses. As much as Belmont used to be like the cream of the crop here, they were the top dogs. They're not so much this year. So I like Morehead to get it done. They have, again, bad athletic matchup purposes wise for Belmont here. We've seen them get exposed in one game bad by these guys and twice by Murray. Not that they're Murray, but yeah, I mean, give me Morehead going. I can't believe they're an underdog. I can't with 4.5. I mean, 2.
I can't either. I'm all over Morehead tonight.
Again, we talk about things that look easy. I was like, well, all right, maybe I'm just, again, could be my little blinders on Morehead because I've had them a few times already this season, won money on them. I think they're undervalued or a good team, but I don't know. They played Murray State twice, kind of tough, lost by 4, lost by 10. So I don't see why they can't beat up and just win out. This is an outright win for them in my eyes. Morehead outright.
All right, Anthony, let me give you some numbers here. They have four starters that average 14 or more points per game. Janai Broom, the player I talked about, 15 points a game, 9 rebounds per game, and 3 blocks per game. Just throwing the numbers up there about this kid that I watched last night, and I sent you the text yesterday. I was like, I watched this monster play, and I was getting mad because they weren't feeding him down low. I was like, why are these other guys taking terrible shots? Give the big man the ball. Anthony, how are you feeling Morehead State versus Belmont?
To go about the size, Belmont has a lot of size. They got a bunch of guys that are 6'9", 6'10", and one guy that's 6'11". And that dude is an animal. He can hit free throws. He literally gets the ball and just puts the ball in the hoop like it's a Fisher Price hoop. That's how tall he is. I mean, it's crazy. I watched him one game, and he just took over the second half. But Morehead has had Belmont's number all year and even last year. And I love Belmont. I have made so much money off Belmont. So my heart is with Belmont. But you don't bet with your heart. I just think this number is way too high. It's in Evansville, Indiana. This is pure neutral court. And Morehead's already played one game. These guys are young. So if someone says, oh, they played yesterday, that's a crock. These guys are 20 years old. They're not freaking 60 years old that they can't get up the next morning. These guys are ready up the next morning. They take their Red Bull, their Monsters. They're good. Give me Morehead plus the points and sprinkle the money line.
All right. So this game's in Evansville, Indiana, correct? But isn't Evansville,
Indiana?
The Evansville Purple Aces play in the Missouri Valley, right? They're holding the Ohio Valley in Evansville. I find that a little strange, but what the heck? All right, so we got 3 people on Morehead State tonight. You know, the factor does come into my mind a little bit that Morehead played last night against Tennessee Tech. But like Sean said, these guys are young. You know,
defending champs. They're the defending champs. Don't sell them short.
Right. All right. So we got one last game to talk about, and then we'll give away a free play. Do we have a free play to give away tonight?
We'll come up with something.
All right.
I got one in there already.
Okay, great. Awesome.
You guys
we got
if you want.
the Portland Pilots versus the San Diego Tritons. This is a little WCC conference action. Portland been playing really well lately, man. The Pilots, they've won I think their last 3 and like 5 of their last 7. Sean, how are you feeling? Portland, I know Anthony and I really like this game.
Yeah, I thought I saw for them they won 6.
Yeah,
they won 6 in a row.
And then they lost one. Yeah,
but losing
6 of their last 7.
But I'm not. You go on the road, lose to Santa Clara is a pretty decent team.
Yep,
that's fine. Why is this line a 1 though? Is why it kind of like strikes me out, because the last time they played it was 92-60. They smoked them. And San Diego comes in losers a 6-7. I mean, like you won, you beat Pepperdine. You were a 5-point favorite over Pepperdine. So that's not a shocker. That's how bad Pepperdine is, that a team that's lost 6 in a row was favored over you. I see a 1 here, 1.5. What am I missing here? Why is it so low? I mean,
this is one of those too good to be true lines. Are we scared money?
Like, what is going on here? Is it? I mean, it's a neutral for 2 teams that who's coming to visit here? Like, all right, I live in San Diego. It's pretty nice there. I guess you go to Vegas, it's a nice trip. I think maybe Portland has more fans because it's Portland, and let's go to Vegas. But I got to lean Portland just because I don't think San Diego's that good. I mean, Portland's won 17 games. Even by fluke, even a bad team, you put together 17 wins in college basketball, you've had to win some games. It's not like they had 14 games versus Division II teams or something. You played in WCC. You had a schedule where you're playing Big 12, out of Big Sky teams or whoever. I'm going to lean Portland, even though it looks a little, low-hanging fruit. Like I feel like Eve in the Garden of Eden grabbing that too good to be true meal here, but I'm going to take Portland.
I'm on Portland as well. The reason why it could be low, Anthony and I talked about this before the show, is that Jack Perry, the Australian guard on Portland, who was getting about 26 minutes a game, he's out indefinitely with an undisclosed injury. However, next man up, Anthony, right?
That's it. I mean, that January 13th, they played in San Diego. San Diego by 5. But I honestly, personally, I don't really care what they did in January. I don't care what they did on February 3rd. I look at the last 5 games, and the last 5 games is Portland's ready to go. They're booming. And Las Vegas is another true neutral site. There is no advantage for either team. Portland, this is going to go head-to-head. Which team wants it more? And how do you not go with Portland? I mean, I'll be the sucker to go with Portland, and if I lose, I'm like, that's fine. There's no chance how I could play San Diego and watch the next day that San Diego lost. And I'm like, what the hell? So Portland, if I lose, I'm okay with it. It's one of those things.
Well, worst case for us tonight, Portland loses, you're like, what happened? And then tomorrow, San Diego's going to get smoked by 15 points by – where's the little matchup sheet?
You get your money back tomorrow.
Right? Yeah. I'm looking for my WCC. I don't know where it's at.
Orleans Arena, that is in Vegas.
They'll play Santa Clara next. They'll play Santa Clara and be a double-digit dog. So take Santa Clara over them tomorrow. That's how we go down tonight.
Yep. Yeah, that's
whoever loses tonight, you go with Santa Clara. You have to.
Yeah, the only thing I can figure is that the guard Perry is out, but other than that, I mean, there's no other factors,
right?
Yeah,
Perry is not a game changer. That's what we talked about. But yeah, Perry is not a Michael Jordan, not a LeBron James. He's not going to change the course of the game. He's a guy that eats minutes, plays a couple, makes a few points, takes time. The next man up. I mean, this is college off the bench, so yeah.
And that guy's going to want to fall. He's going to come in and try to do something.
Next man up. All right. What do you say we give away a free play, fellas?
Let's go.
All right, here we go.
Let's do it.
We heard us talking about it, giving it away. The free play. Portland Pilots -1 over San Diego Toreros. What did I say? I said Triton because there's so many San Diego's teams.
Now there's a UC. There's a UC San Diego. Just San Diego.
San Diego and a San Diego State. And San Diego State is the good one. Right?
Yeah.
Just like-
The Aztecs.
I mean,
Yeah,
even
the
their
Aztecs-
loss, even their loss to Santa Clara was a quality loss in my opinion. They played them well. They
Yeah.
scored a lot of points. Santa Clara just shot lights out. So you put Santa Clara on a random day, they go toe to toe. So Portland,
scored 89 points.
I just don't. That's what I'm saying. That's a lot of points for Santa Clara.
Yeah.
So
No, I mean, again, it could be too easy, but you know what? Sometimes we grab a little easy one, everyone. Sometimes it's got to be easy for us, folks. We can't all be overthinking things. Let's get the easy game.
Right on. Well, man, tomorrow some great games. Man, Arkansas, Tennessee, Alabama, LSU, Villanova, Butler. You got some great games, man, tomorrow. I don't know. What are some games you're looking forward to tomorrow, Sean?
Cool. I got my little conference tourneys. So we got some, I think tomorrow we got new ones going on. CAA and the Summit tip off tomorrow. So we're looking to get a little vested in that.
The Summit.
Yeah.
Where defense is optional.
That South Dakota State team, they're 175 faves to win it all. But I think they will. I'm like a chalk layer, but again, you want to take +5, +600 on Oral or North Dakota State. Other than that, I'm looking for maybe a round 2. Maybe I'll take like 15 points with KC if KC wins the first game and faces South Dakota State in the second round there. But yeah, CAA, I'm looking for Hofstra, get it done. For a little future on Hofstra.
A lot of good games.
Right.
Everybody's on Townsend. You got Townsend's the favorite over there, but
you got Chattanooga when you gave out today.
Chatty, we like the mocks.
Yep.
So yeah, I'll concentrate again. I'm gonna start my tournaments and I'm gonna branch my way out.
Oh man.
I bet Rice already though. I told you before the show. I said I grabbed Rice at -2, 2.5. I bet Rice already. So
there's a lot of good games. I have circled. I can't wait for tomorrow. I already got some games circled from earlier.
I'm rolling through. I start doing the lines. I'm not even up to the 700 club yet. I'm in the 660s.
Okay. When do you start doing lines? They've already started, right?
Oh yeah, they start coming up on this. Like I'll do the printout, and then they start coming up around 3-4 o'clock. I start writing them down. I got them against my number that I think it's going to be at, and then but I want to write them down first. I don't like to just jump right into them because I don't know. And it's good or bad. Like yesterday, I missed a couple games, moved a point on me, but I'm like, hey, you know what? At least I was on the right side. It makes me feel a little better about a game. But,
yep.
What are you gonna do, man? Just last huge weekend. Thank goodness, man. I can't. 150 games.
I know.
It hurts. I mean, I got the light on my head. You're looking at the screens. I'm like, you guys do. It's like I can't get up at 4 a.m. anymore. No more of that. I'll do it the night before. And
Tooch is up at 3 a.m. Sean.
Now, tell him what time you called me this morning. Tell him what time you called me this morning.
It goes 4:20 my time or 4:15 my time. I was I did call. I was like text you first. Are you up? Call him.
I'll get up like 6:30, and then I'll read through the lines. I'll rewrite them down to see what's moved, if I'm adding anything, if me personally, if I got to get off of the game or something. But
well, I mean, with Anthony and me, like he can't read everything or do everything, and I can't read every article or matchup or synopsis or crunch every number.
You can't do it. That's why I said I'll listen. If I leave winners out, that's fine because I'm sure I'm leaving some losers out too. I'll just tomorrow's a new day, right? You can't just think you're getting it all today. No, one day at a time. Grind it out. Tomorrow, you shake it off. That's what I'm like. I always say, right? Windshield huge, rear view mirror tiny. Yeah. Move on. Can't worry about it. Ben.
Yep.
You can't. You will be really short-lived trying to be a better. Even for fun, forget about it. You'll be sick to your stomach. A lot of broken phones.
I had 2 really, really bad days this week, and let me tell you, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't pick a winner. I like depended on it." And then the last 2 days, beautiful. And it's just amazing how it works.
Yeah, you can't get down. You're gonna have. That's the thing, though, man. People think they're gonna come in and just win, right? It's easy. You get on Twitter and like, look at this, like FanDuel or whatever. Sportsbook's gonna put up some ridiculous parlay that some guy hit, and some of the things I can do this, and then all of a sudden they're out. Okay, you can do it, sure. You can do it. That's why these sports books are. Sign-on bonus. Here's $3,000 to sign on. Give me your deposit. We'll give you $3,000 to match it. Yeah, because it's just so easy, everybody.
Right.
Picking horses in one way.
Yeah, it's simple stuff. That's why I always say $1 billion casinos in the desert. They got to truck in water and food for you. But here's a $7 billion building. But yeah, you can go out there and it's so easy. Anybody, a caveman can do it. It's like a Geico commercial.
All right, it's when I get out of here. I'm gonna go throw in a bet on that Rice game because I had him yesterday. Right?
Like the Owls.
Yep.
They'll sell a little bunch. 2.5, I'll take. I got them at 4. It's at 2. I think we've got a little value there.
Yep. Hell yeah. All right.
I better win because you got it. Now I'm going to hear about it. I'll hear about it.
You're going to hear about it midday money. He's gonna message you.
Yeah. He had a 2-point fade. They lost outright by 9.
Come on. What the heck?
I had 2 units on it, man. I lost my parlay because of it.
We're not putting him back on. He'll come on for the last week of the NCAA tournament. We'll fade him.
And some of Anthony's clients will take all his picks and make a parlay and then get mad when it loses. Like you gave out 10 picks. Why didn't they all win?
You went 6-1. I lost money.
I know.
I've heard it all. I've heard it all. I've heard it all.
You'll hear more. Trust me. You'll see. That's another hour show. We go into that. We got fun talking about it.
Yeah.
Yep. Next week. Tune in next week.
We're gonna have to start a series.
Really, this Tales. I mean, people do it on here. You see other podcasts do these shows. It's ridiculous. Like you'll see it. The new people. What are you gonna do? I don't know. Just try to educate them a little bit. That's all I try to do. I'm like, I've been there. I get it. I understand. I've done it. I thought about it. I did it. It's okay. Just move on. It's all right.
All right, fellas. A great time tonight. Great show. Probably one of the best shows I've done tonight with the great questions and great advice. I want to thank Sean for dropping in, Anthony, the sidecar. And Sean, hopefully we'll see you next week. Maybe come back and visit with us.
Let me know. I got my parents are flying down to visit, so
okay.
It might be a little tight one day. Midweek though, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It'll be a little easier for me than
we'll figure it out.
Flying Thursday. Maybe Thursday night I could do. Friday, I don't know. We might be going out to dinner. Who knows? I don't know. You know, his family comes to town.
Friday is Princess Night at the Wahlburgers. My girls they know they're like ready to go. They want to dress up in their princess and get their free kids meal. So
I'm going. Where's that at?
Wahlburgers. Mark Wahlberg's and his family.
Is that every Friday? I dressed up as
it's like once a year.
I had a Halloween costume. I got to find. My wife sent it to me, and it's a picture, and it was like quasi like Madonna kind of Dee Snider. And people didn't know if I was dressed up as a woman or if I was Dee Snider from Twisted Sister. But you had to be a certain age to know Twisted Sister. So
right. Yep. All right, man. All right, guys. Thanks again. Let you get back to everything else, and we're working on tomorrow's game. That's what we'll be doing as soon as I get off here.
Yes, here we go. Time to work.
All right. Thanks again, Sean, Anthony.
Guys.
We'll see you next time.
Have a good one. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
And I'm the team captain. He's the preview, and I'm the main attraction.
Unstoppable, unconquerable, on top of the world, accomplishing the impossible. Unstoppable, unconquerable, on top of the world, accomplishing the impossible.
Invincible hustle, mighty desire to conspire, to transpire.